So another drama has happened in the Brawl community, meaning that I have even more free content. A win is a win, but what actually happened? Well, today's drama is again linked to an organization that is already involved in many different dramas. I like to call them Hollywood Gaming, but they're none other than Elevate GG. If you guys don't know, the current squad of Elevate wasn't even playing for them in the start of the season. The original roster consisted of Quan, Azlivi, and Zar. However, due to their poor performances, the team decided to replace them with Evix, Vegeta, and Diego Gamer. Then, due to visa issues, Diego wasn't able to join the Brawl Cup and Patchy came in as a substitute. However, Patchy then stuck around after he seems to mesh well with the team. So the entire team seems pretty stable on the outside, right? What actually went wrong? The drama was first unfolded by Evix, who tweeted that he was possibly going to get dropped before Worlds, also saying that everyone in Elevate decided to sign a contract. But Evix himself wasn't able to sign due to him being a minor, and he only made half the amount the other members were making, which was quite unjust in my opinion. But since contracts involves many law-related problems, I'm not really gonna touch into that as I'm not really a lawyer. He also tweeted this out, accusing that some people on the team debated on giving him 0% of the prize money, with the reason being he didn't show up to scrims enough. He even leaked this conversation between Vegeta and the CEO of Elevate, where Vegeta tells him that he will be benched in the upcoming World Finals due to his words being not trustworthy. However, for us to understand that part, let's go over to Vegeta's point of view. 4 hours after Evix's post, Vegeta tweeted a massive threat on his stance, starting out by saying that gameplay and mechanically speaking, Evix was a generational talent. However, the problem lies outside of Brawl Stars. Next up, he said that he was very biased towards Evix, allowing Evix a very flexible scrimming schedule. Also saying that Evix never enjoyed scrimming and showed up to scrimming less and less as the year went by. By the way, for all of you who don't understand the importance of scrimming, teams basically use this opportunity to try out new ideas and comps. It also gives the team a chance to build up chemistry against stronger players. And the team agreed a very flexible scrimming schedule with Evix, stating that he only needed to show up on the weeks of game day. This is literally the equivalent of studying the night before. And I think we all know that's not the best of ideas. But this flexible schedule did work and Evix kept his promise. However, when Brawl Cup was happening, which by the way was their first ever LAN event, Evix decided to bring his friends along with him, which I mean was fine if they hanged out before and after the tournament, and having friends in the audience stands would be kinda cool as well. But instead, his friends took him out to eat when they were supposed to scrim with an international team. And again, tracing back to what I said, scrimming was very important and scrimming with an international team was even more important, as every region had their own playstyles and drafts, and getting a grasp of what they play and how they play would be very useful when World Finals come by. Plus, with ping and all that stuff, this would probably be their only chance before World Finals where they get the chance to scrim with an international team. And their friends also apparently knocked on their door while they're scrimming, which seems kinda hilarious. And he also hopped on Discord calls while the team was discussing drafts. So Patchy just straight up pushed him out the room. And after winning June's monthly finals, Evix straight up decided to no-show in scrims, even skipping scrims when Vegeta was next to him. Originally, they decided to make Patchy the coach in World Finals, which I thought was a very fair choice as he came in as a sub, and the 3 Day 1 players gets to play in World Finals. But since Evix showed a lack of commitment, they decided to bench him, and Patchy will be the third man along with Vegeta and Diego. And that's why Vegeta wanted to speak with Evix's parents on the case. With Worlds coming up, the frequency of scrims will definitely increase. And if Evix was already showing no commitment in the past, there's no guarantee that he will agree to do many hours of scrims in the upcoming months. I mean, for these guys, playing this 4-button game is their job, and a large amount of the pay cut comes from their performances in the World Finals. So realistically speaking, going all in scrimming is very normal for them. Vegeta also says that they're stuck in a situation. Would they rather go all in with Patchy, or do the minimum with Evix knowing that they could have done better? And I do agree with Vegeta. There is a great difference between giving your all and losing, and also doing the bare minimum but losing. And Vegeta even proposed the idea of benching Evix instead of dropping him, ensuring that he will be paid no matter how the team performs. However, Evix is saying that they're trying to drop him for a larger pay cut. So there's definitely 2 stories being told. We'll go back to Vegeta later, but now let's see what Patchy has to say. When Patchy joined the team in April, he was told that the team barely scrimmed, saying that everyone in NA scrimmed 10 to 12 times a week, but Evix only showed up 3 times in April. Regarding this information, there's no concrete proof, so I'm not really sure if it's true or not. Then he doubled down by saying that Evix will skip scrims to play Roblox and Minecraft. And by the way, there's no proof that this happened, but after some digging, I found this tweet in April, where Vegeta said that Evix has only played 4 sets of Brawl Stars in the past week. Then Newt replied by saying that he was too busy on Roblox. Again, this might be a joke, but remember that this was back in April. And by the way, Newt is the manager of Elevate. And when 2 different members of Elevate has said that he's busy playing Roblox, you do start to think that this might not just be a simple coincidental joke. Anyways, Patchy then said that Evix was the only member who did not sign Elevate's contracts. I mean, Evix was legally not allowed to sign any contracts, but yeah, I wouldn't go into the contract problems as there's too many legal issues that I would not be able to understand. But then he also provided screenshots of Evix being banned from GKR. GKR was a big NA tournament, and the reason why he was banned was because he trolled the admin about his ID. Then he also accuses Evix of being unserious at the Brawl Cup, but did show up to like 60 to 70% of the scrims, which happened in July. So credit where credit is due, I guess. But after Elevate was confirmed to go to Worlds in July, Evix decides to not even show up to scrims, participating in only 3 of the 30 scrims which happened that month. He leaked a Discord convo of Evix saying that he's not willing to double scrim for just 5k USD. So the lack of commitment is definitely present. However, all the evidences are pointing against Evix, but let's introduce a new character on the scene. Elevate Reverse, who was apparently the coach of Elevate, and he came out to say that Evix was getting dropped. Again, this differs from what Vegeta and Patchy said, but he's saying that the team members were debating on giving him 0% of the pay cut, with the reason being he's not scrimming enough, referring to Patchy being a long-term sub and Vegeta being the guy who left the region for 2 months. And I also saw Reverse replying to this tweet here, saying that the lack of commitment from Evix is negatively affecting the team, by which Reverse replies and says that Evix did miss out on a few scrims and slacked off in August. However, that does not erase the work that he did, and I do think that's a valid point. But more importantly, he confirms that Evix was being lazy and failed to show up to scrims. He also said that Evix promised to change, but Patchy did not believe him. But Patchy also gave a response to Reverse by saying that he's not even a team coach. And to be honest, I don't even know at this point. I think Hollywood Gaming just has too much drama on its own. Then Evix came out and said that scrims are sometimes scheduled without Evix himself knowing. But he's also accusing the team of trying to drop him so the members get a larger pay cut. Then this Brawl Stars Sheriff account gained some traction after posting this alleged convo between Vegeta and Patchy, where the 2 of them discuss about how they can drop Evix. But if you read the conversation itself, it sounds like a scripted dialogue from some Disney villains. And by the way, this account was literally created yesterday, so many people are speculating that this was just a Photoshop account by Evix. Vegeta jokingly replies by saying, "What if we just drop Diego?" And the Brawl Stars Sheriff account said, "First you wanna drop me, and now Diego." And this was just like that one scene from Doctor Strange, if you know what I'm talking about. The Sheriff account also deleted the tweet after finding out he messed up. But anyways, Evix also accuses Patchy of taking the team's food money and being stingy about buying food for his teammates. And Patchy simply just sends photos of the outrageous amount of food that they brought for Worlds. Unless your case though, I think this amount of food should be enough for a normal human being. Alright, so editor Kronos here. So as I was editing the video, Elevate themselves have actually tweeted a new update on the situation. And basically the conclusion that they had was that they couldn't have a conclusion. But during the process, they actually found out that Evix was actually using slurs, and with that reason, he is immediately released from Elevate. And lastly, it's sad to see a team fall apart like this. I was originally a big fan of Elevate, but it's sad to see that they have, they imploded from the inside. I thought that they could come into Worlds as a great underdog team. But well, I'm always someone who believes that issues like this should not be done publicly, as it just brings a bad reputation to the org and the player. And lastly, this prediction was insane, by the way. This might be Riley on a mini account, guys. I don't know.